Good morning, friends. Welcome to Moxie Gardens. I'm Mike Toomey, and today we're going to put as much effort into getting these new bird cages done. Could be anything, whatever you decide your imagination takes you. I am calling them bird cages for now. Someone actually brought up an interesting point that I kind of thought up last night, was these could be fun during the holidays, come Halloween and whatnot. So anyway, moving forward. We got some stuff to do. I've got a little layout right here beside me, and we're ready to start painting, and we're going to start figuring out just how we're going to do it. I don't think we're going to plant up today, but I do think I've got the plants that I'm going to use, something I don't have in the garden. So stay tuned for that. However, got some stuff to do to get these kind of put together. So let's get to doing it and see how this kind of day unfolds. Let's check it out. Okay, as you can see, we've got the paint on. Now you can no longer see the chicken wire. Maybe you can, but not much. It doesn't stand out, it's not shiny. I used a bunch of these 8-inch cable ties to just kind of sturdy up the base of this. So once we get a little bit more weight on there, instead of just having the clips or the edges of the chicken wire to brace it, now these zip ties will do the job. All right. Now I've got to go throughout the garden, and I may have to go past the garden to find a bunch of twigs, because we're gonna line the bottom of these with twigs. Okay, everything's coming along nicely. We just echoed the same thing that we did on the bottom. On the top, however, I do not need to paint these. You'll never see those. The base, there's a potential that we will see some of it. I'll get to that next. So we've got all three of these fairly done. I still got to have that discussion in my head exactly how I'm doing the top piece. So there probably will be the third part of this video. Plus, I don't have the plants, but we will be adding some plants. Okay, I've got a ton of twigs from our birch trees. That's these. If you've ever had a birch tree, they drop like crazy. I've got a significant amount all through the garden. We are going to round this out as well. I've got a ton of honeysuckle vine that I've been cutting off and staging off to the side. So that's what some of this is as well. We are going to make a bowl sort of in there, and we'll add a coconut liner in there shortly. So let's get to adding that second layer. Hey. Okay, we're gonna head over to the chicken coop because I have some wisteria back there, and our chickens arrived July 1st. Some of you have inquired about that. So July 1st, they either ship or arrive. I can't remember. I think they ship. Hey, come on. Can you say hi? Oh, potty time. Anyway, we're going to come back here because I've got this wisteria, and then people told me that it is actually, what do you call it? Poisonous to these guys. So we'll be cutting back some of this wire frame right here. And I've got some on the back side, got some down here, and then we'll wrap that around. And so I'm trying to make it look as primitive and old and fit this garden as much as possible. Perhaps you could take an old wreath and do it with, but I'm trying to keep it as natural and as cheap because I'm taking all the resources from the garden. So anyways, let's get to cutting. Okay, so if you can get the gist of what we're doing, we'll fill this in. I love that it sticks out on both sides. It kind of reminds me of the bird nest that we're kind of going with. There are some greens in here and some browns. The greens will all fade out. A lot of that is, if you've jumped some of the video, a lot of that is trumpet vine. Some of it is birch trees, wisteria, and as well a honeysuckle. So we've taken a lot of the resources out of the garden instead of going down to, a local box store and picking up, the wreaths or whatever you might use to put that in there. So we're just going to utilize some of the things from our garden to help us along. Now, I've recruited 2 people, Jesse and Hey. So Jesse and Hey are gonna jump in here. No shoes required apparently. So she is going to start coming in here and backfilling with the soil and fill this in so we can kind of get it weighed down, and then we'll come through and start to backfill. While she's doing that, I'm gonna continue to build some of this up. I want it to be as natural and funky looking. There's nothing pretty about it. Eventually, when it all comes together, it'll just be a beautiful piece of art. So bear with us. We're still rocking and rolling. So let's get our little helpers over here and we'll get started on this. Copyright, otherwise that'd be. You got it down there, bud? Yep.
Oh, I thought you were going to pour it back in there for me.
It takes a while.
I can see it.
Hold that up for a second. If you want, you can go ahead and Okay, so far we've got 2 down for the most part. We still got a bunch of debris here, over there, and right here that we're still going to add around here. We're just kind of getting them tapered in there, so we'll plant it up. But if you can imagine, those leaves and stuff will die off, whether they stay in there for months or a year, it doesn't matter. I think it adds to what we're doing. Okay, that being said, we've got one more to put together, and I think we're kind of on our way. Put this in here, I got it.
I got it.
No shoes required. I'll have to get an extension for that one. Okay, friends, we're going to go ahead and close up shop. It looks like we've got a little bit of a storm starting to happen. We've got some thunder and lightning right above us, so we're going to get our power tools and whatnot in the garage, go in for supper and call it an evening, but we're moving in the right direction. I'm curious what your initial thoughts are from the first video to this video. What are you thinking? Like, as far as the roof or the top of this, how would you dress it up if it was your garden and this was your project? I think overall, I really like it. I don't like tidy. It really fits the theme. We've got all kinds of rustic, you know, kind of like that backwoods, something from a long time ago, that little village feel. Everything that we've got old posts and we've got metal and we've got rotten this and things are just kind of falling into place. And I know gardens will never officially ever be done, right? We're always changing the garden as we go. But I'm telling you, every little piece to this puzzle continues to get me to where I'm searching for. So obviously it will never be done. We expect that, but every little puzzle piece feels a little bit closer to home the more that we add in here. So like I said, some of you may be super tidy and this might not fit your fancy. If you can imagine anything that's green in there, whether it's leaves, those will eventually fade out within the next couple of days. Perhaps they fall off or maybe they just linger around. I think that'll add some of character to this actual project as well. Anything that's green in there, as far as vines or sticks, it's mainly vines, but those will age rather quickly, especially in our June and July months. So it won't make it till July before this will all age really well. I think they're coming along really well. And like I said, it's fitting the theme of our garden and this little adventure that we're on, and we just continue to push the envelope. And so it was fun to get Jesse and Hey out here and participate a little bit in this. So I'm really worried. I know I talked about some plants that I really want to bring in that I never got to use in this garden. Part of me is a little bit worried because of what we're doing with the rooftop. If I hadn't mentioned, what are your thoughts about the roof? What would you do if it was yours? I know what we're doing. I'm just curious. I love the feedback and your imagination where it takes you, because that's what we're doing in this channel. I want you to reach back into your childhood or wherever your imagination comes from and kind of lend whatever. If this video is 20 minutes, then you get 20 minutes outside of the normal world, and you get to kind of just fall into what we're doing here in this garden and go along for the ride anyway. So I'm just curious what some of you might have done if this was your project, this was your property, or if this was your project. Or maybe some of you are going to do it anyway, you know, take a piece of what we're doing here and go out and create something in your own garden. I'm just curious what would fit your fancy if you were doing this. Anyway, but yeah, I am a little bit nervous about the next step because the plants that I'm thinking about putting in here might not have enough room because we've got some more stuff coming. And I gotta make sure and tame it down now so that we don't get too busy and take away from the overall aesthetics of the whole project. And once we hang them up back there, that's where I was headed. That was the next part of that video was I was just gonna kind of hang them in place. However, the storm and the lightning, I don't want to be up on the you know, in that area with power tools and whatnot. So just better to save it for another day. Jesse did a great job getting these filled in and helping me fill them out. So anyways, guys, if you like what we're doing here, hit the like, hit the share. Please subscribe if you're not subscribing. Leave us a comment. I love the feedback, and plus every time there's interaction that helps the algorithm, and you guys will help this channel continue to grow, which pushes me forward in the imagination and wanting to bring you guys some more of what we're doing in my mind upstairs. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the flip side. Bye bye now.